world. We are live. Welcome back to the Forbidden Lands by the Wanderers Guild. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
Oh, there's the goblin. Found the goblin. This is our fourth session of our Forbidden Lands campaign. We are in the Village of the Hollows, which has turned out to be somewhat of a strange place to be. Our heroes are in the Three Skulls Tavern, attached to the Three Skulls Brewery, which is managed by Brewmaster Yawim, who is definitely not a dwarf. When we left off, our rogue Valas has just found a lost elven artifact hiding in plain sight in the village, in the hands, or rather in the hand, literally, of a ghoul wandering the streets of the town. Yeah, let's kick it off. I'm gonna mute up everybody and roll some music for a minute, and we will dive in.
Music.
Well, I was almost going to sing a song, and I didn't know if it would be copyrighted. I'll sing it after we're muted.
Well, hang on. Something's funky.
Whoop. Time to get
You're not muted. Oh. Maybe this is why my stupid... I have 2 copies of Discord open somehow. Whoop. Alright, don't know. Here we go. And we are back.
Nope, I didn't hear a word of it.
Play it again.
Play it again.
No.
What
Oh,
did you guys hear?
and I imagine the stream is probably echoing because I don't have my earphones on. Hold on one second. We got this.
Not echoing for me.
If you're watching on YouTube,
breaking things.
you're not hearing any of this because I've edited it out.
breaking things.
You're welcome, live stream.
But I'll
So, anyone who's watching live, they will know. Is there
I
anyone
will
watching
know.
live?
The VOD will know.
The VOD will know. Clip it. Clip Josh fumbling with his microphone. It's Twitch Gold.
Don't you know it's in the contract? Streamer has to be embarrassed at least twice per stream.
I'm sure we can make that happen.
That's my secret cap. I'm always embarrassed.
Do you run a Twitch channel?
I run this one. I am Josh.
Oh.
Welcome back, everyone. We're in the Village of the Hollows in the Three Skulls Tavern. It's bustling tonight, which is to say that there's about 6 people in here. And 3 employees. This place makes big margins, clearly. Now, you are...
All really short humans.
No, they are all humans except for your barkeep, who is also clearly
extra
human.
human.
He's
Also a
so
really
human.
short, extra human.
He's totally not a dwarf who shaved off his beard and gave up his past because he has problems with dwarves.
He's caffeine free.
Totally not. Yeah. When we left off, it is dark out. We're going into the nighttime portion of the day, and Valas has just stepped outside onto the front porch. She spent some time watching the dead slowly parading by in the streets, walking along those red painted stones on either side of the village streets. I believe she rang the bell and said the greeting to the dead, and watched until she saw who might be the very dead person she was seeking, the former prisoner of the Rust brothers, who was the owner of the Phantom Dagger. She called him out. He asked her to take revenge on the Rust brothers and handed over the Phantom Dagger. It is a ghostly looking curved dagger made of black smoke, and it floats over from his hand to Velas, floats above her palm, and then slowly sinks down in, leaving the only visible mark, a black tattoo on the wrist, on the back of the hand, showing the shape of the black dagger. She is its master now. I believe she turns and walks back into the tavern, and this is where we pick up our story. Embrace the sandbox, everyone. Good luck. I have no idea what's going to happen this session. All right, Vergello is playing music. Would you like to make a perform check?
Yeah, we're gonna see if it's Freebird or Wonderwall. Can I use my pride before I roll just to try and get as many successes as possible?
Yeah, what's your pride?
Your songs can bring warmth to the coldest of hearts.
Ooh, yeah. This tavern's full of bitter people. You can absolutely add that in.
Okay, so
Could it also bring warmth to the dead?
ooh, I mean, look, if it's that good, that'll be awesome. But
We'll see how many successes he gets.
Vicious
I-
riffs.
do I need to do my pride separately?
I think you toggle it somehow and it adds it to the roll, but if that's not the case, you can roll it separately. It's part of the roll. It adds a d12 to the roll.
Oh, well, it just rolled it already.
Okay, well then go ahead and do the roll as normal. The pride got no successes. All right, well you don't lose your pride because you got 4 successes, which is awesome.
I'm gonna push it.
From this tavern full of wealthy patrons, 4 successes is going to net you a fat 4 copper pieces.
That's 4 more copper than I had.
And the people of the tavern are just entranced with Vergello's performance. I guess he's sitting by the warm fire playing.
Wonderwall.
Oh, that many successes? It might be Stairway. I don't know.
How many NPCs were in the tavern?
6.
Not many.
6 patrons, plus the barkeep, and 2 other helpers that are in and out of the brewery in the back, doing things with the warehouse. Yeah, you entrance the people for some period of time. What's everybody else doing while he's playing?
I am just gonna come in. I'm gonna look at him playing. I'm gonna look at everybody in the bar, and then I'm gonna go sit down at the table with my comrades.
Are you playing a lute?
No, it's Wonderwall. Yeah, it's a lyre.
Lyre. Okay. All right.
I'm playing through the fire and flames on a lyre.
You come back into the tavern, Velas, and you approach the bar, and Yawim's gonna walk up to you, scrubbing out a mug, because that's the only action he does all day. And if no player characters are talking to him, he just scrubs a mug all day.
NPC behave.
How's the weather? He'll see you come back inside, and he said, "You look as pale as the moon itself. Did you make any friends out there among the dead?"
Didn't make any enemies.
You're better than a lot of newcomers, then.
Do a lot of newcomers show up and make enemies with the dead?
I'd say yes.
You guys get a lot of newcomers?
No. But that's something I'm working to reverse. I think this town could be a bustling hub for trade, located along this lovely stream. But you know, the bailiff herself, he says with disdain, just doesn't want things to improve around here.
I promise. If we can't get her to embarrass herself, then I'll slip away from my group. And your problem, it'll be resolved one way or another.
We're all sitting right here. We heard.
He said as I came in.
No, she came up to the bar alone, I think.
Oh.
I'm not thinking in front of you.
Why are you guys doing this at the stage?
You're very,
You just said what to the microphone?
No. Yawim is going to lean forward and he reaches into the pocket of his apron and he pulls out a pouch of jingling coins and he's like, "It'll be worth your while, I promise." And he slowly puts it away and he says, "And better for the people of this town, if you ask me."
I've met her. I believe you.
I knew we'd see eye to eye. When can I expect this job to be done?
If we can make her embarrass herself, tomorrow during the day. If not, tomorrow night. And I'll just turn and walk and sit down with my friends.
As you're moving away and standing up from your stool, he says, "I certainly hope we can resolve things peacefully. But if it comes to it," there's a little glint in his eye, "just know that you have my full endorsement. Enjoy your stay." You go over to the table with your friends? Mm-hmm. All right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please remember, tip your waitresses.
And your musicians.
I assume they already did that. Thank you.
again.
Thank you for your patronage.
Freebird!
He steps down and the default minstrel takes
Buy
back
that
over.
lady an assassin.
The previous minstrel takes back over after you do your solo, and he looks a little bit shook because you got way more successes than he ever gets.
Poor guy.
Everybody moves away from the stage when you go back, and he's just sitting there like, he's playing like a bongo or something. No offense to bongos. I know
Dulcimer.
I just provoked the mob, but I don't even care. Okay, so that's our clip, right? You rejoin your friends at the table.
Where have you been for the last?
I was outside.
Without the rest of us?
We were all right here. Could have stepped outside.
And everything went okay.
Seems to be walking away a little heavier than when I stepped outside. None of the
sounds
She ain't got no glove on. We can see the tattoo, right?
Yeah, I haven't bought gloves yet. It's glinting like from behind.
Okay.
Got what we came here for. Well, initially, anyway. He was here. One of the ghosts walking around. To say the least. Nighttime is definitely not a preferable time to be out walking around, but if we have to do it, we have to do it. Got the dagger. I say that we make a fool of this woman tomorrow, make a little bit of money. What do you guys want to do after that?
Perhaps I'm a little slow, but why is it that we wanted the dagger again?
Aside from the fact that it's fucking sweet.
She never really gave us a reason, I don't think.
It didn't belong to the Rust Brothers.
So you just wanted it. I understand.
I feel like there's more that you haven't told us, and if we're gonna keep journeying together, you need to start being honest.
There's nothing to tell you. They had it. They didn't deserve it. I wanted it. I got it. End of story.
Why do you deserve it? They don't.
Well, the Rust Brothers are kind of awful. I mean, not to say that our assassin here is any kind of
I
saint,
was
but
about to say, I've heard her threaten to kill. I think at least 2 people, maybe 3 now.
sure, but threatened to kill where the Rust Brothers have actually killed. I mean, we've seen the horrors
Not to mention torture.
just from the tortured soul that we saw.
If we're playing comparisons, sure. she doesn't seem that bad. But I would at least like to feel a little bit more comfortable knowing what her motives are. Alas, maybe you can just explain a little bit better how you knew about this dagger, what it means to you, perhaps what it meant to the person that was carrying it, anything that you can gain our trust a bit more.
Yeah, what'd the book say?
The book that I found, acquired, belonged to a Rust brother. Surprise, surprise. They steal the best shit. And it talked about this dagger. This one right here. It was created by elves. It said that when the Alderlands invaded Ravenland many centuries ago, they sent 3 siblings to assassinate the leaders of the elves, the dwarves. However, the elven masters ensnared the would-be assassins through magic, and they bound their souls into 3 daggers. My people made this dagger what it is. It doesn't belong to a Rust brother.
I understand that. I wish you had said that from the beginning.
You didn't ask.
Maybe moving forward we can be more open with each other.
Okay. Where would you like to go?
Are you looking
What
for
would
the
you
other
like to
2
do?
daggers?
Honestly, I wasn't quite certain this one even existed. If they exist, I'd like to have them. Especially if they're in the hands of the Rust brothers.
Perhaps
But,
that
I mean,
gives
no
us
one's
the
seen them.
direction.
Maybe. Maybe. But I don't even know where I would go to look.
Well, I think that Mrs. Pollimore is in contact with the Rust brothers. Maybe she's our lead into talking to one of them.
There was another name, too.
There was. It's Sturks?
Something.
It was Sturkis.
Sturkis, yeah.
Ah!
Maybe,
Told you I
maybe
remember.
we rest for the night. Tomorrow morning we come up with a plan with Mrs. Pollimore and what we want to do with the town, and then we act on it. But ultimately, maybe we need to try and find these daggers.
I'm not opposed to finding the daggers, by any means. But finding Rust brothers isn't something I want to do.
I have a out of character
Not yet.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know about the other journal entry? Like, do our character? I mean, I know Aimee has the journal. I just don't know if she ever told us.
I believe she shared it.
I think she shared it in session 0 or 1.
Which one?
The
The one you got from Red Hook Redoubt?
Sogist? The Journal of Amon Sogist?
Alman the Sigilist? Yeah.
Alman. Alman.
Amon Solgus.
It
You
is...
want to look at how this man's name is spelled? It's
No.
crazy.
It is presently only in Amy's journal.
no, I was looking at. There's another one.
I can reveal it to the party
I think
if
there's
she wants
there's
to.
another one. It's Eye of the Rose.
Ah,
The Legend of Empress Soria of Urher.
yeah, that was part of the same journal. That was there have been 2 journals found. One that she stole from the Rust brothers before the campaign started, which contained the
Right.
Legend of Empress Soria and the Legend of the Phantom Dagger. And then there was a second journal that you stole from Almon the Sigilist in Red Hook Redoubt.
Vigilist.
And I believe that Aimee said she shared it, but I don't have it revealed to the party, so I'm not sure of that, and she can decide whether she
Yes.
wants it to be shared or not.
The Journal of Almon. That is shared.
Okay.
The others are not.
So the Empress Soria of Urher isn't shared.
That one
I
was
can
shared.
see it. I can see it. I just don't.
She
know if
previously
our
said to share that one, so I showed it to the party.
Okay. Then if our characters know about that, I would say, what about the other journal entry? I mean, if we're going treasure hunting after embarrassing this woman, the daggers having no other lead, we do have a lead on, was it a clasp? Like a cloak clasp? Just
It's
offering suggestions. I'm up for adventures.
living elven.
Okay. I'm pretty sure there's some elves that would love to retrieve that and would pay handsomely for it.
That's fair. And there's a chance wherever this is hidden, there's more information.
There could be more journals you could steal that would have more information.
That's true. I'm fine with going there. Or looking
Okay.
for it.
So, tomorrow, we do our best with the elder of this town. We should figure out her schedule. And I'm going to stand up and go to Yawin to ask him just that.
Okay.
What do you know of your favorite elder's daily schedule? Does she visit the other tavern? Does she go to church on Sundays? I mean...
Okay, hang on. He's gonna willingly share everything he knows, and this isn't that big a village, so
Right, I figured he might know.
he's gonna subtly grin a bit as though he takes this to be a sign that you're planning on bloody business, and he will gleefully. Let's see. She spends a lot of time in that old manor on the base of the hillock at the top of the staircase where you saw her. He describes it to you, even though you already know which one it is in town. And she is responsible for overseeing the protection of the town, and so she goes around to check that the towers are manned when they're supposed to be. And he says she's had several run-ins with the town watch because they get so bored out on the towers that they just don't want to bother keeping the watch, and she has to give them a shakedown sometimes, and that she's been known to dock their pay when they don't do their job, and when they piss her off, she sets them on guard duty on the north end of town at the watchtower that's next to the old graveyard, because it is both the most boring and the most creepy to sit up there all day. So she treats it as kind of a punishment for the rotating city watch. He says that she's friends with the gameskeeper and the blacksmith. And so she will go to visit them on the regular, and that other than that, she'll go around and bang on doors and demand taxes every Sunday.
What day is it? Please say it is Saturday turning into Sunday.
It's literally... Oh, no, it's Friday. It's Friday, because I rolled a 6. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Friday.
No. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
We don't start on Monday. We don't start on
The
Monday.
day starts at Monday. What are you?
The week starts on Sunday.
Oh, Josh, you're an idiot and I hate you.
The day after. Well, I mean, it's nighttime on Friday, so the day after tomorrow, she's going to go around town and be collecting taxes.
Can we just ignore what Josh says and tomorrow's just because it's Sunday?
I'm not here to make the narrative work.
Wait.
I'm here to roll dice and then roll my eyes at the results.
I'm sorry. Since she's a mean old woman, I thought she respected the Sabbath. So maybe she'd collect taxes on Saturday.
Yawib shakes his head and says she doesn't respect anything at all.
That was a good try, though.
The music of the tavern slowly and sort of abruptly dies down, and you notice that the patrons of the tavern have stopped talking, and you hear a loud dong, 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 and a scraping side outside on the front porch of the tavern, and the door bursts open, and there is a man standing there. He is tall. He has black, greasy hair, kind of slicked back, partially balding, and he has deep scars across much of his face that look like the remnants of many battles. He's wearing a cloak of ochre and burgundy in sort of a patchwork. And as he walks, an oversized longsword is dragging along the floorboards, leaving faint scratches along beside him. You recognize his garb. He's dressed as a Rust brother. And everything in the tavern grows deathly silent as he steps inside and looks around. And even the drunks that you've seen hanging out in the tavern all day have ceased to drink and are watching apprehensively as though their faces say, "Uh-oh."
I'm gonna like pull my sleeve over my hand and just kind of turn and face the other way.
Yawim forces a broad grin and he says, "Sturkis, my old pal, what brings you to the Three Skulls this time of night? Looking to have a drink? Looking to have a good time? Perhaps you'd like to throw some dice?" And he says, "Silence!" And Sturkis just shuts up and is scrubbing a mug.
Idle animation.
Sturkis walks slowly forward and is scanning the room, and his eyes hover over the 4 people that he can't readily identify, including the elf at the bar who is concealing her face slightly.
Reach over and grab the goblin spear and just take a sip.
He walks up to the bar and
Afford that many of those.
and he leans forward to Sturkis. And he speaks somewhat quietly, but everybody hears this because the bar just fell totally silent when he walked in.
Because the bar is quiet.
And he says, "Sturkis, I hear there's been a disturbance of the peace in town today. Are you housing rabble-rousers in your establishment?"
Hold on.
Sturkis is talking to Yawin.
Sturkis is talking to Yawin. Did I say it backwards?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Sturkis leans forward. He says, "I hear there's been rabble-rousers in town today. Are you housing rabble-rousers in this establishment, my little friend?" Yawim goes, "Not to my knowledge. What seems to be the problem?"
Not my knowledge. Love this man.
Beard cops. Cops. Beard cops.
He says, I have heard that a party, including a green-skinned little goblin, have been making threats against the village elder. Is this true? Have you heard anything about this?" He draws out his sword. Shink! It has bits of rust and corrosion all along the blade, and it looks jagged, but still like it would hurt a lot. And he holds it out and points it right at the dwarf's chin and raises his chin up a bit. He's like, I ain't heard nothing about that, Sturkis. I certainly ain't looking for trouble. If you got business with these outsiders, well, you go give them a talking to." So you wouldn't...
I think we're in trouble.
You wouldn't know anything about threats against the village elder. It's like, of course not. Why would I have any problem with Lady Palmore? Am I right? Am I right? We love the Lady Palmore, right?
Is there any way that while he's like talking to him and focused with his knife up, that I could like quietly get up and just trying to like slide somewhere else, not next to this group that I'm in?
You can. You can try to creep to some other corner. He says, "Right, because you know that I'm tasked with keeping the peace in this village, right?" He says, of course. "And you know that if the peace in this village is not kept, that the Iron Guard will descend on this place in a fortnight, and that anyone involved in insurrection would have to answer." And he scans across the room, and all of the patrons are avoiding eye contact and looking away uncomfortably. "And I would hate for anything to happen to this village. I love this village. This village is my home. As it is yours now, Yawim. And he says, yes, of course. I think we're all a little bit too worked up. Why don't you have yourself a drink, Sturkis? And he says, I'm working, Yawim. And he lowers his blade and keeps it in hand and is just dragging it along the floor of the tavern. And he walks towards the green-skinned goblin sitting off to one side of the room, slowly dragging his blade along the floor, walking a bit unevenly. Hello there.
Hello? I did that earlier and the blacksmith seemed kind of mad. I wouldn't recommend it.
What's your name, little goblin?
But you can just call me Grunrock.
Are you aware that goblins are not welcome in this village?
I got that impression.
And are you watching your steps carefully?
Should I be concerned?
Oh, I think you should. I think you very much should. Have you heard of the Rust Brothers? Ralk?
That's Ralk. And yeah, we heard of y'all.
And so you know they have little tolerance for lawlessness.
Yeah, but I hadn't done anything illegal.
Oh? Have you not?
No.
Well, that's good. Because to stay in this town for more than 2 nights would be a violation of one of the city codes that I just instituted with the approval of the village elder. So I hope you will pack your things tomorrow and be on your merry way, and you will have no trouble with the Rust Brothers. And as for the rest of your...
Just goblins that can't stay more than 2 nights?
Goblins and rabble-rousers. He scans across the room and he,
Can't find me.
trying to disappear into some dark corner.
You did roll stealth.
Rolled 3 6s.
He's gonna scan over the rest of you. He locks on Ayan, walks towards you, dragging his sword along. And who's
I'm
this?
talking to you. Don't stay more than 2 nights, remember.
Who's this? Adorned with such foreign markings. An elven spring of the Dankwood, I presume.
Is he speaking to me?
Uh-huh.
Unless Bill's saying.
What brings you to our peaceful village?
It's funny because we literally just stumbled across it. We didn't have a purpose when we came here. We certainly don't feel welcome. You mentioned the Rust Brothers, but it seems like you're just one person. I don't see any other brothers here at the moment.
Are you threatening me?
No, making an observation, but are you threatening us?
I am no threat to law-abiding citizens who keep the peace.
And how have I broken any laws?
To consort with goblins and rabble-rousers and to make threats on the life of the village elder carries a steep punishment.
Well, that's where you're wrong. I never made a threat against her.
She seems to feel differently about you and your party.
I just got a bath.
I'm sorry, but if you're trying to intimidate us, it's not working.
He walks over to Vergello, dragging his sword along the way, sizes him up. Well,
You don't need to look so tall. I'm not nearly as muscular as you are.
what's your name?
Vergello.
Where do you come from?
Certainly not here.
Where are you going?
Certainly not here.
Going to play games, are you?
A man with no destination can't really give a solid answer.
Why would we want some vagabond in our town? Have anything to offer? One of the patrons comes up behind him and... I don't care what his music sounds like.
I could always play something for you if you'd like. It's quite lovely.
Something, something, coldest of hearts, something, something. Serenade me.
Of course.
And
I hope I don't get married again.
and then he's gonna scan the room, and he looks from one end to the other, and he locks with the back of the head of Velas, who is in a dark corner of the room trying to avoid notice.
Come on.
You hear him scraping his way towards you.
I'm just gonna pull out. I don't think I have any regular fucking book. Fucking stolen. Never mind. I am just.
Why do everything I own stolen?
Do your normal thing, Aimee. Threaten to kill him.
He's gonna take a few more steps towards you, and then you hear his footsteps stop.
Yeah.
You will look a Rust Brother in the eye when he addresses you.
I'll just look over my shoulder. Can I help you?
He's leaning a little bit and he goes, an elf, eh?
What's to you?
What business has a pure-blooded elf in our town?
What business is it of yours?
Everyone's business is my business. I have been assigned the keeper of the peace, and if my ways are not kept, my brothers will see to it that the town pays the price. Now what is your business?
Sounds pretty busy.
My, Sturgis. How boring it must be to live in a town. Only reporting to your brothers through mail, through bird. Big fish in a little pond, maybe it just does it for you. If I'm not doing anything wrong, leave me alone.
I'm playing Top Gun in the background. I got 3 successes.
3 successes, that's pretty good. Your music is actually going to release some of the tension in the room, and even Sturgis seems to ease up a little bit. And as he's,
Can I go over to Yawim and get 2 drinks and some dice?
Sure. And as he's walking away and listening to the tune of the song, he says, this old tune reminds me of a poem I heard. How does it go? An elf with hair as black as night, with eyes that burn and dagger at side. We seek her day and night because the price on her is bounteous. I believe that's how it went. Funny old words. Wonder what they mean. And then he walks toward the door, sword scraping along the floor, slams it shut behind him, and wanders off. And a few moments later you hear ding ding, ding ding as he rings the bell and steps out among the dead.
I hand Yawim back the dice and the extra drink and say, never mind.
I think the last part of that poem rhymed.
Yawim,
Composition.
Was he saying it to me directly, or just like as he was walking?
to the room as he was walking away.
What did he say again? I'm sorry to make you repeat it.
Yeah, that was definitely something to be. Ooh, how do clips work?
Oh, I just have it shortened to where it is. The Rust Brothers have a bounty on Aimee's character. It's just easier that way.
I believe those were his exact words.
And then that's all I need to know.
It's translated a couple of different ways into English.
Yawim is behind the counter. He releases a deep breath. You're pretty sure he's been holding his breath for the last 5 minutes. He sets down the mug and he's like, I wasn't looking for any trouble, I didn't need you all to go getting the Rust brothers and the elder and all worked up.
You coward.
Yalwyn, what did you think was gonna happen?
He didn't do nothing except talk to her.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, if anything happens to her, they're all gonna come back. Like, your plan's kind of falling apart.
Look, all I'm saying is, if things go south, I have no connection to any of you. I'm happy to work with you, but I don't know who you are, and clearly you have a storied past with the Rust brothers, and I certainly don't want to get tangled up in all that. That's bad for business.
I can understand. Then if trust is an issue, we would prefer half the payment up front, seeing as how you no longer see us as viable people. How do we know you're even gonna cop up at the end?
Because I'm a respectable man of business and I exist on my reputation. Isn't that right? And everybody in the tavern goes, hey!
You're entirely honest, right? You're not dishonest about anything.
I'm a man of my word. Elven Spring.
You wouldn't mind if I asked you a few questions about your past, would you?
I am a man of business, Elven Spring.
Since last I saw you, your stubble seems to have grown rather quickly. Growing in quite fast, I would say, for a human.
What's your point?
Well,
Beer god.
I just look over at Gromroll and smile. And I look back at Yoam and smile again.
You seem to be implying something negative about my character, and I don't take kindly to it.
We don't exactly take kindly to being scapegoats, buddy.
Yeah, let's not let the previous tension of the room rise again. You did just kind of insult us and put us in a pretty heavy bind without giving us any additional information other than what you wanted out of the end of this. I mean, don't you think it would have been kind of useful information that that guy kept the law in this town?
Not to mention that he was even here in the first place. We found out from her.
Yeah. All this is sketch on top of sketch, and not only were we supposed to do your dirty work, we were supposed to die for it as well.
Where did he even go? Is he just going off to bed somewhere in this city or in this town?
He probably sleeps in the old graveyard, as creepy as he is.
He left the
I
tavern.
thought you people didn't move around at night.
They do what they have to.
Oh, Sturkis is not afraid to walk in the streets.
Does Circus still have that beer on the bar table?
Yalwyn?
Not Circus.
Yoam?
Yalwyn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk over. I'm just gonna sit down at the bar. I'm just like very shaky. I'm just gonna grab it and start drinking.
And a couple of questions for you, my lady elf.
I'm gonna slam the beer down and glare him in the eyes. There won't be a single question.
Yeah, let's not start getting questions from you, seeing as how you get to give us answers.
Answers to what?
Start. All of the useful stuff that I just described would have been great 2 days ago, a day ago.
I've not had a problem with Sturkis since I came to this town, and I tell you what, if you've run afoul of the Rust brothers, these problems are going to follow you more places than just this.
So you're saying you haven't had any trouble with him because when he shows up, you pee in your pants?
Your very tiny britches?
He's a keeper of the peace. I think we could win him over when we convince the town that Mrs. Palmore is no good business.
There will be no winning that man over.
Also, why are you suddenly on board of convincing?
I simply want what's best for this town.
Did he give you too close of a shave?
I don't think Sturkis is gonna have a problem as long as whoever runs this town toes the line and gives the Rust brothers their dues.
Have you ever thought that Sturkis might run the town after her?
That's a no.
As long as I'm free to run my business, I don't care who's in charge. I have a fantastic product. Am I right, men? And I want to bring it to the world. And I want to expand our borders. I want to bring the Three Skulls Ale to the farthest corners of the Ravenlands.
But why do you have to do it from here?
Well, this is where my brewery is. Have you seen this magnificent structure? You think this sprung up out of nowhere?
Yeah, you have a building. You can build another one.
Franchising. I like the way you think, little goblin.
You can move to Lingmel.
Yeah, we discussed that last time. I would be more than happy to expand my business to Lingmel.
No, I'm talking about move the business, get away from the Rust brothers and the taxation lady.
You think I should re-headquarter? That's
Yes.
Honestly, you're not winning many friends here. The 6 people in this bar are not going to stand behind you when he comes back.
Well, if you've lost faith, then I suppose I shall find someone else to work with me. But I think the people of this town deserve better than Mrs. Pullmore. Am I right? Hey!
Buddy, it's not about faith. We're trying to save your neck.
Let me ask you a direct question.
Only if I get to ask one back.
That's a fair deal.
You first.
What do you all want?
Honestly, money.
We're broke.
And to get out of here.
That too.
Because right now, you got us about yay high and shit. And I don't quite like it.
That's
So
not
here's my question.
I raise his hand up.
Yeah.
At the wrist, just hold it a little bit.
Boost.
Hey,
Give him a
high
boost.
for him too. Now, my question.
I'll draw my scimitar and stick the tip in the bar.
Do you want a closer shave or are you going to start cooperating?
You start making threats?
Yeah. I'm sick of you, dwarf. And honestly, we need answers.
Answers to what?
How can we do this? We need dirt, details, something we can use. I'm tired of the evasion and you wanting to keep your hands clean as a businessman.
Mrs. Pullmore just has no vision. That's why this town deserves better. She is carrying on after her great-grandmother who built that little manor on top of that little hill where they sit comfortably with their antiques and looking down on the town and collecting their taxes. They don't want this place to grow. They don't want this place to thrive. And if it were up to them, they'd go back to the age of the blood mist when we're all trapped, stuck in this little quiet village where everyone answers to them. They don't want what's best for these people. And I say we march out and overthrow her.
Why do you care about these people? You're not from here.
Excuse me? Where do you propose I'm from then,
You don't
Canada.
start naming.
Get out.
I will interrupt. I think we can work that angle. Let's go ahead and leave it here. Both parties have said things we regret. We greatly love your drink, and we will work tomorrow to have her hopefully publicly say that in front of a group of people. In fact, if everyone here would like to sort of crowd around when she starts wandering around tomorrow, that would be great, because the more people there, it becomes a party. And tell your friends.
Okay.
We're just going to try and get her to convince the rest of the town that all she wants is money and blood mist.
Okay. He'll buy into that.
Okay, let's go to sleep. I assume rooms are on the house tonight.
We already paid for the rooms anyways.
I assume
I think
drinks are
we're-
on the house tonight.
Sharing a room.
Yeah.
He charged you for things last session already. Are you asking for your money back?
Nope. I assume
I
we were
definitely
getting
just
charged
stole a
again.
beer.
Yeah, no, I paid for everything already.
Hey, let's go to bed.
What
Also-
part of the day are we in?
Y'all want? It's nap time. We'll be back in the morning.
Okay.
Have warm milk ready for us.
Also, if you do want that shave, it's really sharp. I just went to the blacksmith shop.
He dragged his blade all the way here.
Just the tip.
All right. You all go to your room.
Day-
It's nighttime.
Okay.
All right, you make for your small private room. It's very cramped for the four of you. Some people are sleeping on the floor. There's only really one bed, but the rest of you can roll out cots and sleep on the floor or under the bed or whatever.
Only one of me, so we're good.
Who gets the bed? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I already established that.
Okay.
I don't really care.
All right, so you all go to your quiet private room for the night, and everybody can attempt a very difficult. Actually, no, never mind. I don't think there's a roll to be made
I'm
here.
gonna do a random roll.
Just throw some dice.
I was gonna say, do we want to have someone on watch, but I don't think we can.
It's up to you. If you have somebody on watch, then it means somebody is resting up during the morning because they didn't get to sleep at night. Normally, you have the goblin sleep in the evening hour, but that all turned into
Yeah.
tavern drama.
We should just risk it. We need whatever
Okay.
daylight we have tomorrow to try and embarrass.
All right.
Is there a means of locking the door?
I think if we were gonna get
Yeah.
attacked, it would have happened.
Yeah, there's a simple latch from the inside. As somebody who may have some experience with lockpicking, you think that it's not the best lock in the world, but it'll make noise to get through it, most likely. It's just a bolt from the other side.
Is there like something we can press up against the door? Can I
The
slide
bed.
it against the wall?
Yeah, that's fine.
can
bed.
Sleep against the door.
Little extra security, add a die if somebody's trying to break through the door, something like that. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna put my field kitchen in front of the door. All those pots and pans hitting the ground.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna make so
extra
much noise.
noisy.
Gonna wake up the blacksmith.
The night passes uneventfully, but you wake up.
Good steal.
You wake up to a distant. No! 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 Why?
I missed that last part.
No. Why?
Yeah.
Who's yelling?
What's going on? Does the voice sound familiar?
One sec. I think
Barrows, his ale has been fucked up, hasn't it?
chat says that everybody was quiet except for me, so this recording might be a little screwed. But anyway, I just turned you all up. Sorry. So you hear no, and it sounds like Yawim's voice from somewhere outside, and you hear a couple of slams, and just a series of curses.
Let's go outside.
We pulled the bed back to where it was supposed to be.
Well, it's not tax day. We already know that.
There's one or two patrons still in the bar, and they're downstairs looking out the window, and they both look like they just woke up, and they're looking out the windows, and you all look out the windows, and you see over towards the stream, there's some columns of thick black smoke rising near the water.
Oh, that's not good.
Explain, y'all.
He's
outside.
Here.
He's outside. Somebody-
One of the patrons looking through the window turns and looks at you and says, "Somebody burned all of Yawim's boats last night."
Shut the f up.
Yup. Yup.
Yup.
And he slowly turns around and walks behind the bar and starts filling an ale. Just straight out of the tap.
You should do a second one for y'all. In fact, I'm gonna walk over and grab the one that he just filled and be like, "This one's for him. Fill yourself another." I'm just gonna walk outside with it.
He grabs himself a mug off
I'd
the
go
shelf.
outside, too.
And then he goes and grabs himself another mug off the shelf.
It's not my place. Take as much as you want.
Does Yahweh
Go
have any,
on, meat
like,
slapping.
salted pork or something around? Anything that we can eat for breakfast?
There's at least one employee in the kitchen in the back.
Yeah. We gotta do.
We gotta eat.
If you want to loot the place, you can, but somebody might notice. It's up to you.
I don't know if we're looting it. He owes us money because we're not doing a favor.
Well, then, as long as you think he'll buy that explanation, then you got nothing to worry about.
I feel entitled to it. I'm going to go ahead and eat something.
All right, you're eating. You don't have to roll
That
food
guy's
for the day.
drinking ale, and I don't think he's paying.
It's a liquid breakfast.
You no longer have to roll a food die for the day. Everybody else will have to after we have a conversation here, but we don't have to do it this minute. So who's going outside?
I'm going outside with the ale.
I am going outside.
Okay.
Slappy goblin feet.
All right, the three of you go outside. Yawim has his face in his hands, and he's just laying with his knees in the mud by the side of the stream, and you see the smoldering wrecks of his river boats. Just charred husks. You see some black charred out barrels washed up on the sides of the stream, and yeah. Yawim is just shaking. He's
For the ale that I brought for him. And then kind of kick his feet. And just kind of lower it down to him.
He turns around and grabs the ale from you. He slams it down. And he says, "Kill her. We're gonna kill her. This town's gonna be free.
Oh, hold on.
She's gonna die. She's gonna pay for
We
this."
can't exactly prove that it was her.
You also don't need to say things like that.
Who else would have done this, Goblin?
Probably your good buddy Sturkis. The one you think is not a threat.
I mean, he did kind of accuse you of being tied to us.
If he did it, it was on her orders. That old hag's gonna pay. That old hag's gonna pay. And he goes stomping off back towards the tavern.
Something tells me he's gonna get himself killed.
We're
Yeah.
stealing.
We should go ahead and get something to eat and then go out for the day, see if we can find her amongst any group of people and talk with her.
Okay.
Is there anything on this boat that's salvageable? Anything on the husks?
Is there any?
You want to go search around the boats?
I sound like I'm part of errant teen group of investigators. Are there any clues nearby?
Clues.
Chill out, Scooby-Doo.
Make a scouting roll.
Okay.
Me or him?
Both of you, if you're looking around that area.
Gotta get my me back up.
That's
Come
six
on,
scouting
tell
roll
me
right
there's
there.
something there.
Oh, you spot something. Hang on. It's not what you were looking for, but you spot something. Chat is
It's a body.
Chat. Let me know if the volume levels are better.
I got one success.
Nice. Okay. One success will give you. Cool. Chat says volume levels better. The beginning of this video, you guys might be quiet, but
And there were so many awesome things at the beginning of this video.
we'll make it. I could probably manually edit stuff if we have a good clip or something. There are 4 or 5 sets of fresh boot prints out here. There was a group of people that came out here and set fire to these boats. And Aimee, you see the same thing. You also see that there's nothing salvageable on the boats. There were empty transport boats with some barrels on them, and they've all been burned. But with your 3 successes, as you are scanning the area, looking at all the many boot prints, you see someone across the stream behind a little old woodshed watching. Looks like a young man, And as soon as you make eye contact with him, he suspiciously ducks back into the woodshed, disappears.
I think I'm gonna take a walk. I'm gonna start walking towards the woodshed.
Okay.
I look down at Goblin Friend. You should walk with her.
You want me to? Okay. And I'll follow her.
Yatwim goes back inside. Stomp, stomp, stomp. He steps back into the tavern, and he comes barging in the front door.
He's making breakfast. You're muted.
Oh, Joe is muted.
No, I'm not. Liars, both of you.
Yatwim barges in the front door. Huh? He barges in the front door while you're snacking away, and he looks around. He's like, "Men, we have work to do. Gather around," he says to the 2 drunks that are in the tavern and the 2 employees that are in the storage room in the back. They gather around in a little semicircle, and as they are walking back to the room full of all the barrels, the storage room, he walks past you, and he just looks at you as he's passing by, and he goes, "I'll deal with you later." And he goes walking back into the back room.
I follow them into the back room.
All right. He's putting together a hit mob. Pitchforks, and he's getting the verbal pitchforks out and getting these guys riled up. Is the long and short of it. It's going to last for several minutes, and I'm going to jump back to the other party members for a minute.
Yeah.
Barricade them in the room.
Vergello, what are you doing while Velas and Grunrock are walking?
Huh?
Where's Vergello going? You're the only one I don't know the location of.
I honestly would stand outside the tavern.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to put Grunrock and Velas crossing the bridge. I'm going to put Vergello outside the tavern, and I'm going to put Ayan inside the tavern with the rabble. You 2 are crossing the bridge. You're making your way into the center of town. All the familiar sounds and smells, the distant barking of dogs shakes you up a little bit, Grunrock. And from the little woodshed right around here, Velas, you see a young man go run for it. He's running from here to the southeast. It's a young man in overalls with kind of scraggly hair.
I will run right after him.
All right. Chase him down.
Hey, wait! I'm not that fast.
He's got a bit of a limp. You can make a move roll to catch him.
I'll make a move roll.
I want to chase her.
Okay.
Them.
You make a move roll too.
Okay.
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
Do you want to push it? He might get away
You have
if you
nothing to
don't.
lose.
There you go. You got a success.
Shit.
No, that was my success.
Grunrock got the success.
Grandpa got the success. He grabbed me and pulled me backwards to propel himself forward.
You took 2 damage to your agility. You go chasing after him and trip and like twist your ankle pretty bad. You get 2 willpower points out of that. That's pretty spicy. But that young man's going to get away, but Grunrock gets move success. So Grunrock, you could catch up to him if you want to try to like tackle him or something, or you can just get a very clear look at him so that you know what he looks like.
Nah, I'm gonna get him.
Okay.
I understand the assignment. She's chasing him. I don't know why, but I'm gonna bite him on the calf if I can get close enough.
He trips and falls, and you go try to take a bite out of him, like you do.
I just imagine you like leap off of her like a rabid dog as she like trips.
This is a melee roll with no weapon modifier of any kind to grapple and tackle somebody.
Melee roll, no weapon modifier.
You got him. You're gonna run up behind this guy and grab him by the legs, pull him to the ground, and take a bite out of his calf. He is. He opens his mouth and contorts his face like he's screaming, but you quickly realize that he's a mute, and he's going. Oh. And you also realize a couple of disconcerting things. You're like on top of him, and you're holding him down. And you got your hands on him, pinning him down. Maybe you got your hands around his throat or something. And he's going. Oh. And he, you realize that this guy has a dead bird sticking out of his pocket. He's wearing like filthy overalls. He smells kind of bad, and he looks a little crazy. And he's looking at you like,
Hold on. I'm gonna stop choking you, but don't run.
He's terrified. He's backed up against the wall at the back of this house here that you're at. And he's got his hands up. You're also probably carrying a weapon, so he's not, so he's just like...
You have any way to communicate? You can't speak. Can you write?
Is there written language in this game? Oh yeah, because I've got journals.
He says no.
Would we know sign language?
Who are you?
Not fluently, but you can try to piece things together.
Well,
When you say, who are you? He does a sign back that you don't understand. He has some sort of sign language that he uses to communicate with somebody, and you don't know it. But it's sort of a shruggy like.
am I
Okay.
caught up with him at this point?
Hold on. Let's back up.
You notice now that he has a really nasty scar down the side of his neck, and he's got big like patches of black, sort of necrotic flesh on his upper chest, shoulder, and neck.
Did you see the fire?
He nods.
Who did it?
He looks around.
do it?
He looks around nervously and doesn't say or gesture anything. And when you say, "Did you do it?" he goes,
Am I there yet, or am I still walking up?
"You catch up. Your ankle is jacked. You're limping a bit."
Did the lady do it?
I'll kind of point towards the house.
He doesn't answer. He looks
I need to
nervous. He looks very
Did
nervous.
she do it?
Did she order it to be done?
Or that?
Was it Sturkis who ordered it? No. It was our horrific Mrs. Pollard.
He points at himself. He says,
She ordered you to do it. No, you saw. 10 people? No, you saw the fire. 10.
"I'm inventing sign language here because I don't know what I'm doing."
No, I love it. You're doing great. Good job, DM. I saw
Take it on the sit.
3-4 pieces of
Chat wants me to rub my chest more. Huh?
Adam. Get out of here. It is Adam. I knew it.
Don't dox our friends.
I'm just kidding. I love our friends. Adam knows I love him. We're twins.
She's stream
I
sniping.
know I'm involved
she
in this,
does
but I'll
that.
be right back. I gotta just a sec.
I saw 4 sets of boot prints. Do me a favor. Lift up your foot and let me see your boot. If you didn't do it, you got nothing to be worried of.
This dude's boots have no tracks on them at all because they're so worn down. He seems very poor and like everything he has on is wearing out. You didn't see any blank footprints. You can almost see the soles of his feet coming through these shoes.
But you saw the fire. Did you see who set it? Could you point them out? They'll kill you. How about if I promise protection? Because Yawam's very angry. No? I could get you food, drink, we could get you clothes. Yawam's not gonna let you get hurt. And they're not gonna know that you told us. You and me, we'll sneak around, you point them out, and then no one knows that you did anything. It's just those rebel rousers. They were paying attention in the bar. They saw it happen. They figured it out. They pieced it together. You had nothing to do with it.
He looks very uncomfortable and doesn't answer.
See, the thing is, you know who did it. And I need to know who did it. So...
He points at your coin pouch. He goes,
2 silver? That was a face. 2 copper? I don't even know if I have 2 silver.
he nods.
I have 3 silver to my name. He nodded to the silver copper.
He nodded to the copper after you backed off. but he looks disappointed.
I'm also poor. I'll give you 5 copper. I need you to point out who it was, because I'm gonna need to talk to him. But I'll give you 5 copper. You and me. We'll go for a walk. We'll be sneaky. No one will see us.
He's going to take you for a walk around the village square.
We'll go.
He walks alongside you.
I'm gonna send Grunrock back because I think it will draw attention if he's with us.
Okay.
He's the orc.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell him he's not here to respond, but I'm gonna say, go tell Aimee and Vergello that I'm going on a walk to have it pointed out who did this. Mrs. Polymer, she's the one who ordered this hit. But people aren't going to believe him explain what he looks like to them. We're gonna need the other people to back up that they were ordered to do this. It's not gonna be enough from one crazy mute. Go. And then he and I are gonna go for a walk.
He's going to take you for a loop around the village, and he's going to... First of all, his eyes are darting around, paranoid, everywhere that you go. He occasionally gets distracted, picking flowers, and he stops at the shrine to the gods in the middle of town, and he walks up to it, and he puts some of the flowers that he picked in the middle of it, and he does a bunch of big gestures, and he does hand gestures to various gods, one after another. And then he seems to have forgotten you're there and just go wandering off until you tap him, and then he keeps going. And as you're walking, you notice something strange. He lurches over a little bit as he's walking, and he has a little bit of a limp, and you notice his hands, which are dangling by his sides, fade in and out of existence a couple of times. They go transparent.
Is he an undead, like, zombie?
He doesn't look like one, and he doesn't look like any of the ghosts you saw last night, but
He's some kind of in-between.
his hands fade in and out a little bit so that you can see through his hands and his arms. His clothes are fully opaque, but you notice that his flesh sometimes just sort of fades a little bit. He takes you on a loop around town for about 10 minutes, and he subtly points at 4 different houses while going, and you remember which ones they are. And none of them are ones that you have previously interacted with, although one of them is the big manor house at the front of the town that the dogs were at.
With all the dogs.
And you make your way back around the loop, back to the bridge.
Okay. I'll pull out the 5 copper. I'll hand it to him. The offer for a meal still stands, if you want it.
He's going to stick it in the same pocket with the dead bird, and then he gives you a big hug, and he smells horrible, and then he goes running off.
Bye.
He goes running off by the stream up towards this end of town and starts rooting around in the underbrush at the base of the wall. You're not sure for what.
Weird guy.
I'm gonna walk back to the bar.
Okay. There's a ruckus from the bar.
No, not yet.
Vergella's gonna be happy with me. I did a good job.
Yawim has a mob of about 5 or 6 people in full pitchfork mode. They're in the tavern chanting death to the bailiff.
Vergello's letting this happen?
So as soon as I saw them cut the corner and I couldn't see them anymore, or I heard the chanting, whichever happened first, I would move inside.
Okay.
I'm already in there with them.
Yeah, you've watched...
You have a pitchfork too, also chanting.
No, I
He's
don't.
so charismatic.
You're watching this from a distance,
He's got
but...
a regular fork eating.
Yeah.
No, I went back there with them.
Ayan has watched the situation slowly devolve, and this guy has a mob loyal to him, and they are ready for blood.
I would absolutely go up to Yawin and try like, shh, are you trying to bring Sturgis back here?
Sturkis can come if he wants. He can join the winning side or the losing side.
See, the thing is, if he joins the losing side, it's gonna be that big ass sword and against a bunch of pitchforks. Like, what happened to Plan A? Like, we're still gonna try and talk to the lady. Look, just take the day. Take a breather. I get that you're pissed. But if you go out there, you're gonna ruin everything. And we're gonna leave.
You just have pitchforks hanging out in your back cellar.
Pitchforks was figurative. They have bar stools and meat,
No, I like to
meat cleavers and
pitchforks.
kitchen implements and torches. All right.
Kitchen knife.
This is going to be a manipulation roll, Bill, to get him down from the brink of murder. I know it doesn't sound like manipulation because you're reasoning with him. 2 successes is plenty. All right, he says, you have 1 day. 1 day to oust the bailiff or the bitch dies.
24 hours. Sounds great. Now stop chanting.
But I want to. Fine, go. Do what you're gonna do. I need a drink. I need 3 drinks.
Okay, bye. Let's go, Anne.
Yep.
All right, you're gonna come face to face with Grunralk and Volas, so let's give Aimee a second to come back.
Before I leave, I grab a stool out of one of the patrons' hands and set it on the ground. Just stare at them.
I wasn't gonna do nothing.
I know.
That guy's a college graduate, you can tell.
We
Oh,
all
Lord.
know you weren't gonna do anything.
That guy went to tech.
Oh, don't even start. We don't need this.
I wasn't gonna do nothing.
We're on the internet, Bill. You can't get the internet all roused up.
I absolutely can. What are you talking about?
Pitchforks on your
Especially when it
front
comes over colleges and this. Oh, don't get me started on
All right,
sports I don't care about.
They come out of the tavern right when you two are returning over the bridge, and so you all meet in the road right out here.
Friends.
Whew, all right, hey.
Eventful morning.
Yeah, we need to get this done today. Ideally in the next few hours.
Well, we know who burned the boats.
Old lady, right?
He hired it.
She
Well,
had a
yeah,
cat's paw.
obviously.
So we've
Right.
got the 4 people who did it.
So
So what
we
you want
can
to
either
talk to them?
shake them down or convince them to point
They-
the finger.
They should be
Or
there when we're trying to do it.
Where are they?
We can
we didn't bring them back.
Yeah, but where are they? You said
They're in their house.
we got the 4 people. They're over there?
I assumed you didn't want me to.
Yeah, ideally.
That's
I can't
that should be
imagine.
default mode is assume that we don't want you to.
Yeah, that's a good point. From now on, default, just assume that is the case. So good job. I don't know how we're gonna convince people to come and point the finger when they clearly don't like.
We don't
us.
need. This is the exact ammunition that we need. Her biggest opposition, Yarwin, his boats just got burnt at her hands.
Yeah, we need everyone else who isn't them
Yeah. But
and convince them, hey, this just happened. Get her to say it.
It's a small town. Let's find a large bell and ring it.
there's bells everywhere.
All right.
Maybe
Let's
the
go
one at
to
that
the.
big tavern
I was
or
gonna say-
the well.
Let's go to. Is there a bell at the well? Bell at the well.
Bell at the well?
Wow. It's a well and a bell.
We could ring the bell at that tavern and then get people to come towards the well.
Yeah.
Put the goblin on top.
There's a bell outside every structure that people sleep in.
I don't know about me being on top of the well.
Each of us go outside of a structure. Who wants to talk. Vigello, you seem good with large audiences. Perhaps once we've got enough people interested, you can engage the mob.
I mean,
Yes, but ideally I'm trying to engage the lady.
depending on how crazy you want things to get, I could just run through town and ring every bell and then.
Let's not do that.
It
I
might
like
be
the plan of ringing the bells. Let's ring a couple of bells. And
It sounds gentle when you say it, like little hand bells. Ding, ding, ding.
I'm sorry. Let's vigorously shake the bells to attract the attention of the town until the lady comes out. That surely will incite a mob. Ideally, she'll be pissed. Everybody wins.
We don't even need a mob. It's not a mob that we need.
We need her and we need some people.
She
her and
burned
some people.
Yarwim's boats.
My goal is to get her to say that in front of everyone.
Makes sense.
Do you go into the town square and start ringing random bells?
Oh,
Yes.
hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Look, I'm gonna be honest, you guys. I wanted to do that when Josh said every single building had a bell outside of it. I was like, we pass the bell, I ring it.
Uh-huh.
What
All
are their
right.
names? Houses
Okay.
or-
So,
About to summon. I feel like we're about to summon some things by ringing bells.
ring, 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 ring.
Banana phone. All right. All right.
Grunrock obnoxiously rings bells for 30 minutes.
I'm supposed to be the keeper of the tone, and I'm just goofing off here. All right, so you're in the center of the town. It's overcast. There's a distant rumbling of thunder, as though perhaps a storm approaches from the south. The town square is largely vacant, but as you walk through the town square, the people are giving you suspicious glances and slamming their shutters, and you start ringing bells. And you ring them and ring them and ring them, and one by one people are popping out of their windows and going, what is the deal? And getting worked up. Surprisingly, the first people to investigate are coming from the south over the bridge from the side of town that
It's less popular.
Yawim's end of town, where the brewery is, and a slow trickle of people start coming, and within 5 minutes or so of you just making a terrible ruckus, you've got about 24 people gathered around the perimeter of the town square going, what is it? Stop ringing, you're gonna upset the dead, stop ringing those bells, why are you ringing those bells? And the old lady, in her jammies at about 10 a.m.
Aw, jammies.
comes barging out of her house, and she's like, what's this racket?
Is the nice
There she
lady?
is, the criminal.
Good morning, ma'am.
You also see Sturkis, and he comes slinking up
Is he in his jammies
to the
too?
perimeter of town. He's not in his jammies. This dude apparently sleeps in some real rusty armor, and he comes dragging his sword up to the town square, and he's standing on the perimeter in the crowd. He's on the opposite side of you all from the lady, and he is keenly watching the situation, and you see his eyes darting all over the crowd.
I'm gonna slither back into the crowd.
Slither away.
I'm gonna make myself scarce, and like when I can tell that he's like looking around and doesn't see me in particular, I'm gonna try and like start edging my way around.
Okay.
So I'm behind
Is
him.
Yarwim here with us?
wait for
Not
us, brother.
yet.
Okay, I'm going to run back to his tavern.
Get him. All right,
Yes.
you're fetching Yawim. She said, what's the meaning of this? And there's a silence. Are you still ringing bells after she says that?
As soon as she finally speaks, assuming she's speaking to us or me, since it's literally me or Grunrock now.
I'm waving at
Just
Sturkis.
waving. I'll say, oh, my apologies. I assumed you would have been up by now, but I did need to speak with you and the rest of the town here. It seems someone has broken the law here, and that person would unfortunately be you. And I really, it kind of pisses me off that the leader of a town would stoop so low as to get her own people to attack another citizen by burning their property that they heavily already tax?
I had nothing to do with it. I don't even know what you're talking about. I've been sleeping.
I can tell. Often people sleep till 10 a.m. No, it's usually when they stay up all night that they sleep till 10 a.m. What were you doing so late at night? Gathering a posse? Just let me know when you need.
I will not stand here and be accused of crimes against my own people. I'm very sorry for whatever has happened. Can anyone fill me in?
There were 4 people that helped you.
4 people that helped you and burnt boats and barrels of Yawin simply because you don't like them. Who's next on the chopping block? We know you're friends with the blacksmith and the games master, but when you don't like the way your knives are made in the morning, are you gonna burn his forge down, break the games master's bows? Who's next on the list? We already know you send guards who clearly aren't doing a great job to the worst post there in the old graveyard.
Make a manipulation roll to appeal to the crowd. You'll get... Go ahead and finish your arguments. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I don't even know where I left off.
Filibuster.
Filibustered.
He's filibustering. Yawim comes up just fuming. The whole way he's walking with you, Ayan, he's going, I'm gonna strangle her. I'm gonna kill her.
I just want to turn and start pointing out the 4 houses that the guy said. That one, that one, that one.
Remember too, Josh.
Sturkis says, what are you on about, little goblin? What are you pointing at?
Those houses are where the people that did it live. Those are where her cat's paws are.
How could you know such a thing?
The bird guy told me.
The bird? He slowly scans over the crowd. At this point, the village elder lady stops talking because she hears this part of the conversation, and her face turns beet red, and she is fuming, and she's scanning over the crowd. And off in one distant corner, you see the young man, the mute, standing there.
I'm not going to point him out. But Sorry.
I was just going to ask, do I see her, like, right there at the edge? I'm waiting to use Sharp Tongue to try and push her over the edge.
Okay.
So do I need to make stealth roll? Have I, like, moved behind Sturkis?
You can be stealthing if you just want to be missing from the scene, yeah. There was nowhere to hide in the tavern room, but you can stealth here if you just want nobody to know you're here.
I just want to, like, disappear in the crowd and move so I'm behind Sturkis.
Okay, make a stealth roll, because he's vigilant and he's not going to let you get behind him if he can help it.
Just so I'm clear, before I make this roll, as I'm pulling it up, I'm just trying to kind of like disappear before I start like making my way around. If I feel like I can't dodge his glance, I'm just gonna try and hide back in the crowd.
You're just trying to stay out of his line of sight.
Yeah, ideally, and get over to him. But if I can't, I don't want him turning and jumping on me.
You're going to have to decide if you're going to risk sneaking up on him or not.
I wouldn't risk sneaking up on him.
I'm just moving away from the vision.
He's keeping an eye on you. You're trying to slink out to the edge of sight, and you know that he knows where you are. Because while most of the crowd has not noticed you, Sturkis is on it. And as you're slinking off to the side of the crowd and one of the little alleyways between the houses, he's going at you. And you can see him grip his sword while watching where you go. Ayan is just leaving town, apparently.
Is that the side that Sturkis is on?
Sturkis is on the edge of the town square, somewhere over here, yeah.
He came from that direction.
He's over here somewhere, yeah.
I'm going to make sure that this gate is secure. Oh, it's knee-high wall, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about a gate.
Yeah.
The only thing it's stopping is me.
All right, anyway,
just
so
not move it.
back to the main event here. You just made a bunch of accusations, and then as soon as she heard the bird guy and the goblin looking around, she locks eyes with the young man who's in the corner, and he's looking down at the ground and sort of kicking his foot back and forth, trying to avoid eye contact. And she says, "Perko, are you telling lies? You mad little boy."
I think the only one telling lies here is you. Probably to everyone in this town.
So she knows the culprit.
Yeah.
Well, he said the bird guy told us.
Oh yeah.
Perko.
I think I'll finish it. I think I'll just finish it off kind of saying what Yalwyn was. I'll just add on, like, honestly, you probably just wish everything was shut back off. The blood mists were here. Everyone was just miserable, stuck off from the rest of the town. You don't want the people here to prosper. You want you to prosper. I mean, you sit up on your tiny little hill with your lovely little mansion and your artifacts. It was nice in there. You have your own personal servant while everyone else out here struggles daily to pay your way of life. Oh my goodness.
You're pushing buttons and getting under her skin. You get 2 extra dice on this, and go ahead and make your roll to try to do damage to her.
I'm actually nervous. Does it? The 2 extra are base dice?
The 2 extra are skill dice because they can't be skulls.
Oh, that's right. Skill dice. Okay. I will push this roll if I have to.
Okay.
Do it. Let's fucking go!
3 is her empathy. You, using your... What's the talent called?
Give it to me. Sharp tongue.
Using your sharp tongue talent, you deal 3 points of empathy damage to her and cause her to become broken on her empathy stat, which means she has an outburst that is not good for her. She is going to step forward to the edge of the staircase and say, "What of it? The town is better without that filthy dwarf." You hear Yalwyn across the town square go, "Who are you calling a dwarf? I won't stand for this." And she's like, "Shut up! You're trying to ruin this town. You're trying to let outsiders in, and you're trying to lead us all into ruin. We're better off without your filthy boats and your filthy business. I just wish you'd go on your way and leave us alone. Things were better back when the blood mist kept us all safe and happy in our homes." Homes.
Bravo.
Nobody in the square says anything for a moment.
Enough of an outburst for me to be able to make Circus look and me roll a new stealth.
You're determined to have Circus not know where you are.
Yes, yes, I am.
I would say, like, after that confession and a good, like, healthy pause, like, look to Sturkis and be like, "Lawmaster, we clearly have someone who's broken the law here,
And she's been here long.
She just confessed to it."
He says
We have a
nothing.
witness.
He's still got his sword. He's leaning on his sword, which is stuck in the dirt. Is drawn and stuck in the dirt. And he's leaning on the hilt, and he's looking around at the crowd like... And the look on his face says, "Do I really have to deal with this?" And he's scanning the crowd. And as he's scanning the crowd, one stranger that you've never heard speak before, a man probably in his late 40s, with slightly silvering hair, steps up and he says, "Mrs. Polmore offered me money to destroy those boats, and I wouldn't do such a thing to a fine brewmaster such as Yalwyn himself. He is the greatest brewmaster in this realm. I swear it this day, and I'll not sabotage his business for the likes of some petty old biddy like this one." And she goes, and across on the other side, somebody goes, "Here, here." And you see more people starting to talk to each other and step forward, and it seems like the crowd is being swayed, and Yawim is going to step forward and speak up for himself.
I'm gonna point towards the 4 houses again.
Yawim sees you pointing at the 4 houses. He's like, "Oh, we'll deal with those ones soon enough." And he steps to the base of the staircase right in front of the lady, and he says, "People of the Hollows, do you want to be prisoners? Do you want to go back to the age of the blood mist? No! This old hag just hates outsiders. She wants nothing to do with the outside world, but the outside world is there for us. It's there for the taking. This place could be a metropolis. This place could be a center of commerce. You all could have gilded bootstraps." Somebody goes, "Gilded bootstraps?" He's like, "You know what I mean. You could have nice things. You could be well off. But instead, we live here in squalor and we wait for some army or some monster to come along and topple our little village. No, I say this day we claim a new Hollows. This day we throw out this old hag, this old bailiff, and we reawaken this town. We open this town's borders and we say, enough of this. It's time to embrace the world, as the gods clearly want us to do. Are you with me?" And about 2/3 of the crowd goes, "Yeah!" And about 1/3 of the crowd nervously steps backwards. And Sturkis shrugs. And sighs. And he says, and Yawim steps up and says, "If I'm not mistaken, destruction of property, arson, and conspiracy to disturb the peace are crimes in this town, are they not?" And the people are like, "Ah!" And about 1/3 of the people are like,
Can I try and...
Make a stealth roll.
Tension break.
Can I...
If this one fails, you're so suspicious that he's just never taking his eyes off you.
Oh. Haha.
All right. You slink away into an alleyway.
Sounds so disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. So at this point, it seems like the town has turned against the lady. Well, at least more than half of them. A quorum, as it were, when you're living by mob rule. And so...
Private homes.
Yeah, so... the people are going to start moving forwards, and the old lady is just shouting accusations at people, and she's like, "I knew you were treacherous and you couldn't be trusted. You don't want what's best for this town, and you over there, you've never done a lick of work in your life." And they're all slowly converging on the base of the staircase. And the mob is...
the staircase.
Say what?
I try and make my way to the base of the staircase.
You can do that.
Before the mob gets there.
You can easily push your way into the mob. They're creeping forward.
Should we do something here?
She's gonna slowly backpedal and then retreat into her house and slam the door so that there's just that fancy stained glass facade on the outside of it. When she opens the door and goes inside, you catch a glimpse of Dahlia looking very distraught inside. And then the old lady closes the door. And Yawim is gonna say, "Let her rot in there. This village needs new leadership. Who would step up to that task?"
I nominate Yawin.
Yawim.
Like House and Alley.
Rabble. Yawim. This is a brewmaster running the town. Yawim is a fine businessman. Yawim.
What is a town if not just one big collective business? Sounds like having a fine businessman in charge would work out great.
Yawim steps up on the stairs and he says, "Oh, I'm too honored, but I couldn't just
I was gonna vote the bird guy.
I couldn't just recklessly accept such a charge. I mean, I am a man of business, and I'm sure I could bring this town prosperity, but you don't want me. And some people are like, Yahweh. It's like, really? Me? Old me? Yahweh. And you hear like one voice in the crowd going, it's a mad dwarf. But the crowd seems to have swung to Yawim's side, and they all start chanting his name, Yawim, 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 Yawim. And he says, wait. If you want me to be your leader, I must begin by asking you, what should be done with this old hag? And somebody in the crowd shouts, off with her head!
I mean,
Is that the only suggestion that's shouted?
That's really the only one that lingers on the ears.
Anyone else?
There's only so many things you can shout that'll really rile up a mob.
Hey, Sturkis, what's the penalty for what she did, Mr. Lawkeeper?
Penalty? What are you talking about?
Arson, destruction of property, embezzlement.
Oh, the law, of course. Yes. We can't forget the law. Yes. Well, the penalty would have to be and
You're the law here,
and
man.
Sturkis cuts in from the other side of the clearing and he says, exile. And everything falls silent because there's a tacit understanding through the town that exile basically means death in the Forbidden Lands. This place is not friendly. You all saw what it was like to walk here.
Yeah, it sucked.
That's an old lady out on her
We
own.
invite her to be a part of our party.
She joins the stronghold.
She's now a part of us.
Never.
And there's a rabble, and then somebody is... Yawim is going to sigh and say, well, the law is the law, you know. Exile it is, I suppose. And there's a long silence.
Yawim, do you have laws? Do you have laws that are current with the blood mist lifting?
Exile sounds great. Let's not break down the intricacies of a new budding town and throw a wrench of confusion. Exile her!
Exile her! There's a consensus for exiling the old lady, and that's what's going to happen. And Sturkis is going to stand by calmly and watch it happen. He's going to lean up against one of the houses and watch as the whole town goes charging up the staircase. A giant stampeding mob and breaks down the doors and comes dragging out the old lady and her maid and parading them through the city streets, shouting, exile, exile, exile. And stained glass windows are being smashed and people are parading through the house, and you hear things just being broken and smashed and trashed all through the house, and it's making a terrible ruckus. But there's at least 15 people running through the house making a giant mess.
I want to try to catch up the group that has got the maid.
Okay.
And sort of like stop them if I can.
Yeah, I would kind of move towards the group holding the maid, saying like, ladies, gentlemen, you would send a prisoner to exile with her captor? She is just as much to lose as everyone here.
No.
She was terrified. She'd basically been coerced into this woman's service.
She's just...
Let's not throw a wrench.
Hey, you were questioning laws and civics. I'm trying to save a life.
So was I.
Dahlia is not particularly capable of making a defense of herself, and so she's just weeping while they're carrying her along, and you get up in the face of the people that are carrying her. And they're like, she's the servant of the bailiff. She has to go. Who's she gonna be loyal to,
Yawin, the next leader.
She's bawling.
A servant who could put up with such a tyrannical, awful woman must have the stamina and willpower it takes to live in servitude of one of the best businessmen this town has. to bring this town back to life. That way we can respect both the living and the dead.
Sturkis is going to step forward with his big, rusty longsword drawn, and he's going to raise it up and say, "Enough of this!" And everybody falls silent for a second because this guy commands authority. And he says, "You, young lady, come here now." And she walks up to him. And he says, "There's been a change of leadership in this town. Do you swear fealty to the Lady Palmore or to the new Elder Yawim the Brewmaster? Make your choice carefully." And she's wiping tears away from her face. And she's like covered in mud and her arms are bruised from the mob dragging her through town. She says, "I've served Lady Palmore loyally for many years, and I've kept her house in order and her affairs." And he says, "That's not what I asked you. Do you swear fealty to the new lord of the town, or do you swear fealty to the exiled bailiff who has been accused and convicted of crimes against the Hollows?" She says, she looks at Mrs. Palmore. She looks all the way across the town square at Yawim standing on the staircase. She says, "I shall accompany the Lady Palmore in her exile. I shall continue, as I have for many years, to keep her affairs in order until we find a new place to subsist." He says, "Very well, you've made your choice. It's exile then. All right, on with the little lady." And the mob picks her up and carts her off.
Jeez, I feel like we could have done this a lot faster if Sturkis actually stepped in forever ago. I say that out of character.
She's got tears streaming down her face. She looks underdressed for the wilderness, and she's gathering up her things, including a feather duster, some pots and pans, and just a bag of clothes.
So they're at the house.
This is all happening. This is all happening near the gates of the town.
Okay.
Is Yawim next to me? Well,
Yeah, sure.
I was on this. Isn't it time for Starkus to perhaps vacate the town too?
I have no authority over the Rust brothers. They collect their taxes and their tributes, and they help to keep the peace in the town, and if the town was disloyal, everyone here would pay the price.
But surely they're at the root of the issue.
Out of character, I don't know if Joe understands the severity of kicking out a Rust brother. Because I feel like our characters would know, like, you do what the Rust brothers say.
The Rust brothers have a reputation for ruthlessness. They have a military component known as the Iron Guard, who are basically a legion of armored soldiers that come to enforce the will of the church. And many human settlements bend the knee to the Rust brothers because of their broad influence and capacity for intimidation and oppression.
Nope, I definitely understand that.
Okay.
I'm still engaging Yawim in this conversation.
Yawim says, "Look, between you and me, I would just as soon the Rust brothers had nothing to do with this town, but we can't simply run Starkus out. He's simply too influential and has too many friends. I'm sure that if we wronged him, they would be on us like flies. This town is better off."
Palmore.
"I don't need your judgment. I'm gonna bring prosperity to this town. You've had my ale."
Yeah, I've already walked away.
Wait, you should get payment.
"Don't you turn your back on the village." "Oh, yeah, I owe you money."
It was 100 gold, right?
Okay, so in a mobbish and ritual way, the town is going to stand around in a big semicircle while Sturkus declares these two exiled from the town, and the young lady and the old lady are going to go wandering off into the wilderness, dragging bags and pots and pans and dirty clothes, and they're just going to go marching off to the east Lady Palmore is too proud to show any weakness, and so she's just scowling and saying, "You'll all regret this! You'll all regret this! This town is my namesake. This town is my life. This town is where my great-great-grandmother..." And Dahlia is just weeping and walking along behind the old lady. And they go marching off into the distance along the old dirt road, which you can see goes for a few hundred feet and then tapers off to nothing. It just turns into hunting trails. And they go marching off into the wilderness, and the town is shouting good riddance and throwing things after them. And as you make your way back, Yawim is making speeches about how this town is going to be a new place. We're open for business. Everybody's going to be a king. Everybody's going to be rich. Everybody's going to be prosperous. And he is standing atop the staircase at the Elder's Manor, and he'll turn to... Is anybody near him?
I've been near the crowd the whole time.
All right. He'll call Vergello up. And he says, "And you, for your help in the investigation of the crimes against the town. I promised you just compensation, and Yawim is a just ruler." Ruler. Here, have your money. And he's gonna reach into his apron and pull out a pouch of let's see,
100 gold.
100 gold.
No, it was 100 gold if we killed her.
No, it wasn't 100 gold.
I didn't want to go with that route.
You're all making up numbers.
50 gold.
I'm not.
1 million.
He's gonna hand you a pouch of money for you to go through at your leisure.
While all of that was going on, I very intentionally did not go because I didn't want to be by staircase. I also wanted to be in the house, her house, while everyone, like the 15, 20 people, were inside, like, messing it up and, like, screwing it around. I want to kind of, like, thumb through some of her stuff. I want to pull anything interesting, any kind of like interesting books, maybe if she had any dirt on anybody. I want to pull anything, and then just if I see anything shiny. I mean, there's 15, 20 people, they're all fucking it. I imagine some people are taking stuff too.
You loot the house, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I mean, people are probably looting it while they're breaking it.
Okay. Roll
Circus isn't there.
Roll a d100. The higher you get, the better the quality of the thing you're going to loot from the house. And if you get a 90 to 100...
daggers.
Never mind. You got an 85.
Damn.
I was going to say, if you get a 90 to 100, then you would get some... a plot hook. Okay. That's a high roll. You're going to get something valuable from this house.
Man, I wanted a plot hook, though.
We have like 3.
You now have 2 of the 3 missing daggers.
Per a request, we're going to take a short break for a few minutes. We've still got an hour left, but let's take a 5-minute break. I'm going to generate your treasure to see what you have looted from the lady's house while joining the mob. Everybody can think about what they want to do next, and let's take a 5-minute break.
Okay, sir.
We do. But we're back.
I mean, are we back?
I was informed by a viewer that looting is not nice.
You look like a ghost again.
I know. I was trying to figure out why that is.
Aimee, you're muted.
Who said looting's not nice?
Because I mean, everyone. I'm just glad we didn't get caught. What'd you get? Did you already?
Who didn't
Okay.
tell-
I wasn't sure.
I'm afraid to tell you because you might loot them.
He's afraid to tell you who said it because you might loot them.
That's a good thing to be afraid of.
Amy's
Velas,
not as good at pickpocketing in real life. As
you
she is.
joined the mob and you stole a shiny silver mug. So you can add a silver mug to your list of possessions.
How much money's in the bag?
12 silver pieces, which is slightly more than he promised you for convincing the town to overthrow the lady.
Was it?
He promised 10 for that, or 15 for assassination.
Where's my gear? There it is.
There's 4 of us. How about you 3 get 2 gold and I get 4 gold because I did all the talking.
Hello.
We have 2 extra gold.
I don't care if you take them. You like
mean-
rooms, I think, or something.
Oh yeah, I did pay for rooms too. It's also not like I'm going to be hoarding it either.
Yeah, I mean, as people need things, like
Yeah.
we share.
Group-wise, I was actually like, obviously I mentioned this in character, but I was going to be like, we were talking about a bow, but I don't know what the cheapest bow was. I don't remember if we looked at those.
Hanks. I don't know if are we muted on stream, Josh?
No.
No.
No, I'm gonna type something in the group chat.
What are you eating, Josh?
A tortilla.
Just a plain tortilla?
What do I look like? Somebody with time to cook?
You've lost a garment of clothing and you gained a plain tortilla. It's a bad stretch.
Hashtag bachelor life.
Married with a child.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and start without Hank. He's held up. Grundralk is at the tavern celebrating our victory. Velas is looting. Vergello is counting the bounty. And Ian, what are you up to?
Shocked as to the heartlessness of this town. I suppose I'm watching. Give me a second.
Hang on. All my cameras got screwed up somehow. Please hold.
I turned mine off and turned it back on, but I thought it would go back to normal. Hey, did you take your blood money? It's 2 silver.
Sure.
Silver or gold?
Silver, Josh?
Silver.
No, I'm more curious as to what Sturkis is doing because he's the real menace.
Why did the cameras get all screwed up?
That's gonna fuck stuff
Well,
up for sure.
yeah.
Oh, Hank's disconnected. Everything's broken.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's probably why.
Please hold.
What are you eating, Aimee?
Chips.
I'm
Chips.
hungry. I'm gonna have a turkey sausage for dinner.
Josh, do you remember Paradise Grill? Did you ever
No.
get from there?
No.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I got sliders from there today. They also had margarita night. It was $4.50 margaritas, but they were sneaky. Because I had 2 of them, and
There's
more than I
this
was expecting.
pub that Josh and I would go to that was near a place we worked at together, and they had the best shrimp and grits. It's honestly what I always crave.
Oh,
is their
yeah.
shrimp and grits.
It was a shame
Well,
that
pub-
place went away. It's gone now. It was called Rose and
Was
Crown
it?
Tavern.
Oh, I didn't realize it was gone.
It's gone
Is that
now.
the place you took us to, Bill, when we visited you during the hurricane?
I don't even know, honestly. It's hard to remember like where I brought people because I had people come up for hurricanes, I had people come up just to hang out, like, and I don't remember. I moved all the time, so I can't remember where I was living. It was good though.
Are you moving back? this way,
Eventually.
Bill?
Yeah, eventually.
Aimee?
Yeah, Amy's obviously moving up there.
In the summer.
If Hank was moving down here, I would say he's the dumbest person ever. Don't move to this town. It's a dead end.
All right.
Where does Hank live, Cod? Well, I suppose we don't. need to
What's his exact address and social security number?
We all know his social. Okay. The camera's got all screwed up, and it'll break again if he comes back. But just give me a heads up if he does, so I can fix it. We are back. I'll cut all this out. Oh wait, my camera's
You're not on
broken.
stream anymore, Josh.
Yeah, I need to fix my camera. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna need to cut this out later, but here is. There we go. That is not me. That is Aimee. Okay. Let's play out the rest of the session. Let's do it. We're back.
And action.
And action.
Aiden's watching Sturkis. He wants to see what he's doing.
Sturkis. Sturkis is going to be carefully watching the crowd, and he goes marching up the stairs towards the home of the lady, and is going to run everybody out of it. Swinging his sword threateningly and telling people to vacate the premises and stop their filthy looting, and that law and order will be restored in his town.
Is there a window that I can climb out of when I hear his sword clunking up the steps?
To avoid
So he
him
doesn't see
knowing
me in
that
the
you
house?
were in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, make a stealth roll to try to escape the house without him knowing that you were one of the looters.
Man, this messed up agility from pushing a roll is really screwing me right now. Oof.
Oof.
You might want to push it.
You're climbing out a window and he sees you unless you push it and succeed.
This is why I told you not to go in there and steal things.
Well, to be fair, I was doing it while you were all pushing her out. I wasn't trying to stay.
I'm watching him, so in case anything happens, I can watch him murder you.
Pushing it is so risky.
Getting caught is also very risky.
Yep. I would push it if I were you.
I'll
Just
push it.
don't fail.
I closed out of it though, so I need to click stealth and take one die off.
Yeah, take one.
No.
Well, yes. And you're going to take at least 1 damage if you push it because you had a skull.
Yeah, I take by roll a base die of 2.
Yeah.
Nope.
He still sees you, and you take a damage falling out of the window.
Much rogue.
You're scrabbling as you hear his longsword dragging up the staircase, and you're desperately looking for an out, and you try to hide behind a couch, and you try to hide behind a bookshelf, and then you're like, ah! And then you go to jump out the window at the last second, and as you're flying out the window, he makes glaring eye contact at you, and then you fall on the ground and twist your shoulder.
Is there any way that my second proficiency with Path of the Killer would have helped me? And maybe not, but
What does it say?
I'm gonna ask. I can slither out of my way of any restraints or push myself through the smallest of openings down to a few inches wide.
You can roll 1 additional die if you want to try to cram your way. Instead of a window, you could try to squeeze through the chimney.
So just roll a single.
Just roll a d6.
If it's a success, you get out.
It is.
Oh my goodness. I
Well
kind of
done,
I was
Aimee.
wanting Aimee to fail because she never gets punished and she always does stupid stuff like this, and it's gonna hurt us one day.
Nah, not today.
Not today. She sees him coming and he bursts through the door and she quickly scrabbles into the chimney and is bracing on all four walls while she hears him scraping along and ordering people out of the house, and she is clutching a silver mug that she looted. And she makes her way up the chimney, onto the roof, down the back of the house, and out of there without the Rust brother ever seeing that she was one of the looters.
I was doing this for us, man. Like, you're all mad. I'm trying to get us a plot hook.
We have plot hooks. Don't try and say it isn't anything other than Amy's greed with her characters. That's what it always is. Don't lie to me.
I have no comment. All right. So, yeah, you all reunite at Three Skulls, probably.
Yeah.
You're there. It is now.
Ghost.
It is now midday. I know. I'm trying to fix my lighting. I don't know why. I wasn't all like glowy white before, and then the camera coloring changed.
If you drink more, your face will get redder. It'll solve the issue.
No, it won't. It really won't.
Oh,
I passed.
fine.
Just telling you. I'm just telling you the truth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fuck you, Josh.
I passed 2 silver to each of the other people in my party and say this was our reward, and I keep the 4. It's like I got the extra, like it didn't divide evenly. I have the extra 2 on me, but if we need anything, I imagine we're getting supplies of some sort. What's our next destination? I'm happy to keep exploring.
I think that we've overlooked the fact that we came across a demon lady, and that this new world appears to have some unnatural things in it, and that we've not even spoken about that since.
Well, the blood mist itself was pretty unnatural, so I was kind of used to not speaking about that.
So that didn't shake you at all?
Oh no, it was terrifying.
So when you say, let's go out and explore more, are you anticipating seeing these things? If you come across them, what will your reaction be? Will you want to investigate it further, or are you just fine ignoring it like we did this past one?
I just like a good story.
Personally, I want to understand what's going on in this changing world.
I'm fine with that.
I don't want to force old women and their servants out of their home to a death in the previously blood mist.
Okay with forcing tyrannical leaders.
Tyrannical? She charged high taxes.
She also set fire to things. I mean,
Now she's probably gonna die.
Yep, so death. We're a group of people that walk around, and any tax collector that's charging remotely high, death.
sure.
That's
why not?
what we do. No, no, not sure.
No. Oh, okay.
I think that we need to consider what the true evil in this world is. We're not going town to town executing the local rabble. We need
It's very pointed.
We need to look at the bigger picture. We need to consider what the real evil in this world is if we want to journey further.
Okay. Don't we need to journey further to see more evil?
I just want to be on the same page about this. I want to understand that we're not.
I was against assassinating the lady. I was against assassinating
this to happen
her.
again. This feels wrong. At the end of the day, this doesn't feel right.
Go rescue the old lady.
No.
Feels right to me.
Bro,
I-
you've shown us your moral compass.
I don't think that she should have been assassinated. I don't really have an opinion that the town picked exile, but I don't think anything that could have been done to her here in town would have been any better.
We've seen what the world is out there at the moment. It is cruel.
So what would you
want
what
to
would
happen
It's
to her?
a death sentence.
right? What would you have seen her punishment as?
I don't know what her punishment should have been, but I know what it shouldn't. I don't know what her punishment
Right.
should be, but I know what it shouldn't have been.
That's kind of the issue. Is we couldn't think of any alternative on the spot to convince the townspeople.
So we couldn't lock her up. We couldn't wait to think of something better. We just appeased the mob. This town is no better than it was before.
We did not come up with exile. That was the Rust brother who runs this town, who we can't fight because we don't have an army. I understand that this is not an ideal outcome, but there was a person who was restricting traffic into town overall. Yes, I understand exiling her for high taxes is probably a little extreme, but that wasn't our decision. That was the people who run the town.
It seems strange to me that you look around and you don't see starvation or real poverty, and you take the word of an innkeep that is dishonest from the start, and you decide that the person running the town is far worse than him. And
But
you
we
exile her
talked to that
death.
lady. We
For
talked to that
money.
lady.
Yes, she was ornery and she was
And
unpleasant.
she wasn't just ornery. She
Okay,
was
she was a little racist.
extremely racist.
Racist.
Not a little racist. She was trying to restrict any traffic into town, which meant trouble for any future people coming into town. She was not amicable. We tried to get her to allow Yawin to leave the town, to let come off his taxes a little bit so we could convince him to leave. She wouldn't do any of that. She was not amicable. She would not talk with us. Yes, Yawin's not the best person in the world, but we didn't just take his word for it from the start. The only person who was like, hey, let's go ahead and just kill her was old Stabby over there that has a new tattoo. I was all about talking with the townspeople to see if we could get them to convince her. And as soon as we talked with her, we realized, oh wow, she is an awful person. I don't want to go from town to town trying to oust the current government. I don't really care. I was offered money. The lady also offered us money, but she wanted us to destroy Yawin's property. So we took the opportunity to earn cash to oust someone who was a bad leader. There's no doubting that. And got money in the process. The town exiled her. The Rust brothers exiled her. If you want to go follow them and escort them to Lingmel, I'm happy to do that. We can go right now.
Great, let's go.
Okay.
I didn't
Lord
think
Barrett.
you'd jump on that as quickly.
He's like, damn
I
it.
don't. And you have no problem playing judge and jury, just executioner. You're the one who wants to stop this greater evil in the world, but have no money to do that. We got into one fight with skeletons, and you almost died. If you want to defeat some greater evil, you need to have armor, you need to have weapons, and to do that, you need money.
Is
Where
a
is
greater
this-
sense of good is your motivation? Is that what you're trying to say?
Not at all.
You're out here
I'm not.
looting everything you see because you want to stop the evils of this world?
No, you want to stop the evils of this world.
No, I'm curious. I'm curious. It seems like we've turned a blind eye to them, and then we sold ourselves to the first person that offers us coin.
Because you almost died 2 days ago.
Yawin bursts in the front door of the tavern and says, "My friends, we've done it!"
Yawin cut out.
Yeah,
Y'all-
you cut out.
He says, "My friends, we've done it."
Yeah, God. I walk out the front door. And I
What?
say,
What?
if anyone wants to help me escort the two to a safe town, they're welcome.
What's gotten his britches? The town is saved. We're gonna be prosperous now. Huh? This calls for celebration. Drinks all around. Yeah.
I just look at the other two. It's like, should we just follow them?
I mean, to be fair, it did almost kill us, and we kind of know the way back.
Go.
Hey,
Thanks for the
Look.
drinks, Yawin.
you just gonna. You just gonna. I don't.
Hey, do us a favor. Don't screw it all up, Beard Gob.
Yeah, please keep this.
Who you
right,
call?
right.
Why are you walking away? I just.
I'm gonna just stand in the bar. I'm gonna glare at the back of Aiden's head. It's just daggers.
Yeah, loot something from me or try and assassinate.
I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna walk over to Yawin. It appears we're leaving.
It appears so.
Have the others left the bar?
I followed him out after I said, "Don't screw it up, Beard
Yeah, I followed too.
because he's tall. I gotta move to keep up with him.
You all sound so reluctant to
He's
help.
got a stick. I got.
You're not in the bar.
Yawin,
Hey,
was her being exiled sufficient?
I just want what's best for the town. Do you think having her running things is better?
No.
She's setting the boats on fire. She's clearly willing to bend the rules to get at her enemies. That ain't right, is it?
Yawin, do you want her dead or not?
I don't care now.
Fair enough. I'm gonna turn around and walk out.
You're not even gonna stay for the party.
At like arm's reach, I'll like grab it as I'm walking out.
If there's any what?
Needed arms
Or
reach.
like beer or something, just like and like walk out with me.
Hey, that's not yours. That's bloody elves.
Put it on my tab.
But you. All right. Yeah. So you regather with the party at the village gates. Are you gonna follow after the old lady and the young lady?
Yes, so
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
do we need to do like a scouting roll to try and find their footprints?
They have not gone far because they are traveling slow. As you approach, you see the old lady already taking a rest on a rock.
Big slappy goblin feet running up.
Well, she's sitting there, maybe like 1,000 feet outside of town, and the old lady's sitting on a rock and panting, and the young lady is standing there trying to calm her down, and turns around and sees you coming. Dahlia is going to take a few steps towards you as you approach. You're out on the open plains here.
We feel kind of bad about the way things went and want to help.
Olimore, none of us wanted to help you, but Gromrog insisted. How do you feel about
The
it?
old lady's going, I don't need any of your help. We're going to be just fine. We're going to travel on until we...
You took 10 steps and sat down, you old bag. Do you want help or not?
How far could it be to Amber's Peak? We're going to keep walking until we get there, and when we get there, we're going to be warmly welcomed because we...
You don't even know what the dirt tastes like in that direction. How are you gonna get there?
Well,
You're in your nightgown.
Dahlia
I
turns to you and
suggest
says,
you take us up on an escort. We don't want anything. We just want to get you somewhere safe.
Dahlia turns to you and says, we don't know where we're going. She's...
It's obvious. I'm sorry. You're a sweetheart. She's terrible. It's obvious.
Well, don't be rude to the lady.
One good turn deserves another. That's all I have to say about the old lady and her attitude.
Well,
We're trying to help, and she's just screaming because I'm a goblin.
We'll win her over.
she pulls you aside. Lady Palmore insists that we're traveling to Amber's Peak because she's heard good things about it. That it's a settlement of civilized folk somewhere to the southeast, and that they will welcome us with open arms because we are, as she says, tax-paying types. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about the outside world. She might be able to tell you a bit about where she wants to go, but she says she knows the way, but I don't think she does. I don't think she's ever been outside the village, and it might be a lot farther than she realizes.
DM, is Amber's Peak a Rust Brother settlement?
Make a lore roll.
Oh, clever.
Lore! I totally screwed up the camera filters. Everybody looks washed out. I don't know. I added a filter and then removed it, but it didn't go away.
Meanwhile, Hank is in the darkness.
Apologies to the stream. Everybody looks terrible. You got a success on the lore roll? Okay, you know a little bit about Amber's Peak. Here's what you've heard about Amber's Peak. Please hold your call. It's important to us. I didn't plan this far ahead. I didn't know what the hell was
Someone give us music. What he did not plan is for the murder hobo party to go, hey, actually feel kind of bad. Let's go help.
I knew you weren't murder hobos deep down. That you're just kind of murder. You're a little bit loot hobos and a little bit murder hobos, but you have bad feelings about it. So we're gonna be in between.
I feel like.
Go ahead, Bill.
I feel like Aimee and Joe are at the two ends of the spectrum of this hobo party.
And Grunrock is going like this.
Neither is one. Neither one's better than the other. Just one is a murder hobo, and one's like, let's not kill old ladies hobo.
And Aimee would have knifed the old lady and looted her house, and Joe, if she did that, would have just left the party.
Yeah.
All right. So
I want to point out that I didn't want to kill the evil plant lady either.
Yeah. No, he's the moral compass.
No,
he's not.
The evil plant lady had to die.
Aimee, we're not talking about me in real life. Okay?
Joe, in real life, Joe actually goes to old folks' homes and pushes people over.
Absolutely.
I've seen it.
All right.
Did you know I worked at a home with dementia patients for a while?
This is better not
No.
dark.
No, it's not set up for a joke or anything. I genuinely did.
It should have been.
Aimee,
Yes.
you've heard about Amber's Peak. I have the legend here. I can't read it verbatim because with one success I have to cut out some information, so I'm going to do my best to give you what you know. Okay?
Deal.
Be better.
You've heard bits and pieces. I'm gonna try to piece this apart so that you get the amount of information that it would be reasonable for you to know. Okay. Years ago, centuries ago, during the wars that tore this country apart before the Blood Mist set in, there was a half-elf. You would know about this because you're a half-elf. Or at least you might have heard of it, named Zertorm, Zertorme, who was one of the first generals of the evil sorcerer Zygofer, who led an invasion of this country. So, evil sorcerer Zygofer led an invasion of this country. The elves stayed the hell out of it as much as they could. But he had a general named Zertorm, who was a half-elf, and he was disgusted by his master's tyrannical rule and defected to join the Elven Spring of the eastern reaches of the Forbidden Lands. And so he joined your people. His name was Zertorm. This was hundreds of years ago.
He was disgusted by the war.
He was disgusted by his master, who was an evil sorcerer, who was invading these lands. The evil sorcerer named Zygofer invades the lands. His his half-elf servant named Zertorm is disgusted with his acts and defects and comes to the Elven Spring of your region and says, I've had enough of this evil dude. I don't want to serve in his forces. Defects. As the war raged on, Zertorm found himself a town, became its lord, and as the human horse lords were losing the war and being driven away, they submitted to Zertorm and said, we will serve you. And he helped them fortify their location and keep the evil lord out of their city. This was hundreds of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The city that he founded was called Amber's Peak. It was a village when he found it. He built it into a great city. It was an old ruin, and he rebuilt it. You have heard rumors that Zertorm yet lives after all these centuries, and that he is the Lord of Amber's Peak. And that's as much as you've heard about it.
Gotcha.
So, half-elf presumably rules the town, which is built on an ancient ruin, and it was formed by defectors from the war with some ancient sorcerer named Zygofer many hundreds of years ago before the Blood Mist. And it is rumored that it still stands and that he lives and is its lord. So,
And we have
this
no
is
idea the direction.
what you've heard overlaps with what this old lady says, which is that it's somewhere to the southeast, but you're not sure how far. It could be 10 miles or 100 miles or 500 miles, you don't know. You don't really know the scope of this land or what to expect while traveling its wilds, but you do know that you've heard rumors that it's somewhere off to the southeast, and that it is an old fortress city ruled by a half-elf who defected against some evil sorcerer hundreds of years ago.
How do you pronounce the half-elf's name again?
Zertorm. I will type it.
Okay, thank you.
I can also just copy and paste my notes.
And he was the servant of an evil sorcerer named
Zygoform.
Zordon Young.
These games are just so easy and nice. And
Yeah.
They both start with a Z for your convenience.
Is there a tavern in Amber's Peak that is run by someone named Zawin, who wants to get the person who's in charge out because he's being overtaxed?
Yeah, and they're charging too many zirconia as a tax to enter, and so
It pays primarily in electrical.
and the local zoo's zebras are just running amok. Okay,
Salaciously.
so
This is Rabble's Rousers.
yes. Anyway, there's a alleged plot hook of Amber's Peak, and that's the piece of it that you get for one success. It omits some details. You might be able to find out more from other people who know more, but that's what you know, is that you've heard legends of its founding. You have heard rumors that it's still ruled by a hundreds of years old half-elf who founded it, and that it was built in the wake of some great wars that happened before the Blood Mist. That's as much as you know with your lore roll.
Sounds good. I will share that information.
Okay.
Well, would you like the free escort?
Dahlia says, you're just going to accompany us for no charge?
perhaps we'll just share the road with you until we find our destination.
I mean, we'll have to forage for food. I'm assuming you have no travel rations or water.
But we got some food, right? she turns to the old lady, and the old lady is stuffing her face with perishable food that's not convenient trail rations.
Right.
And you're it's quickly sinking in that you're traveling with two people that have never left this tiny village their entire lives, and they have no idea where they're going and no idea how to survive, and you're pretty sure if you leave them on their own that they're going to die.
We'll be fine. We got this.
I'll stick with you.
She says, "You are truly angels."
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, not that great. We'll go with saints for now. We'll work our way up to angels.
Or we're just normal people that aren't heartless.
Like what he said.
She says, "That'll do it for me."
No, that's not it.
And the old lady goes, "We better get moving. I don't know how far it is, but it's probably that way. I heard it's southeast." She's pointing due east. She doesn't know how to
Grab
navigate.
a handful of dirt and present it to Grumrock.
Grunrock, you want to do the honors?
Well, that direction's east, so it's more.
I'm gonna run over and grab her hand and turn it to the southeast.
Get your
way.
filthy hands off me, Greenskin. I know where I'm going. And she starts walking very slowly to the southeast, never looking back at you. And we'll wrap our session there.
I suggest we catch her
Wait,
up.
can I say one more thing
Yeah.
before we wrap up?
Uh-huh.
So she says that, and she is rude and disrespectful, and I'm gonna look at Ayan. If she hurts Grunrock, it'll be on you, and I don't want to hear shit for what I do about it.
She
And I'll
can't
keep
hurt
walking.
me. She's an old lady.
She can hurt your feelings.
We've established that Grunrock is very brave.
Except
Chew.
for dogs.
Maybe to a fault. All right, let's do our experience handout, and then we'll wrap it up.
We didn't ever get a downtime block where I got to spend any XP. We slept, and then it was morning.
Do it while you're camping.
Something tells me that with the old lady, we're gonna have a lot of downtime.
I can honestly say that I did not anticipate that you would end this session in the wilderness with Mrs. Palmore.
Yeah, I think only one of us kind of expected something like that.
But it's perfect. This is why we play this
Here
game.
for it. We have.
Honestly, also,
Bill-
my character
Bill
was being
loves it.
crazy. Aimee
Bill
loves
loves
it. This
Yeah,
is nuts.
Bill's
What
all
the hell
for
are we
this.
doing?
I don't know.
This is so stupid,
You're just-
and I'm so
It's
ready
not-
for it.
You got
you
involved.
remember-
You got involved in local
the last
politics.
session?
It went ugly, and then you felt bad about it, so you followed them out of
Joe,
town.
Yeah, Joe, you haven't been abused by Killian for judging every decision he didn't make for you, so just give it time. When he watches this and realizes that they're not following one of the 3 plot hooks Josh gave them, they're going off into the wilderness. Well, they may as well visit a hat store on the way.
Killian's gonna be on Joe's side of this, I promise you.
Look,
Look, if
Do you
Killian's on
remember-
Joe's side,
If
I'm
If
fine with
Killian's on
that.
Joe's side, it's because he doesn't want to be on mine and Bill's.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're both stupid and I'm the greatest.
that's
he
not the
watching?
point we're making here.
End the stream, mic drop.
It says he's in the chat.
remember
Maybe he can chime in.
when at the end of the last session I said, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna find the 6th plot hook that you have no plans for."
We did
I just want to say I called it.
I just love that we're going in a random direction to protect an old lady. It's the perfect. This is what sandboxes are made for, because I did not plan for any of this. All right, experience. Here we go. We're going to make this quick. Did you participate in the game session? If so, give yourself an XP. Bill, you don't get credit for this.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Did all the talk. I'm just kidding.
Did you travel through at least one hex on the map? No. Did you discover a new adventure site? No. Did you defeat a monster? No. Did you find a treasure worth a gold or more?
How much is my mug?
No. It could have been if I rolled higher. It was borderline.
Damn it!
The bag was 12 silver. Is that not 1 gold?
Did you build a function in your stronghold? No. Oh. Treasure worth a gold or more? No. Well-
no, you got paid for a task.
Okay, wait. You did get paid. So find a treasure.
Yeah.
Does getting paid for a quest count as find a treasure?
I mean, I found it in the bag. He handed it to me.
You all got money this session. That's what it's getting at. Yeah, everybody get an XP for finding a golden work.
Woot.
Did you build a function on your stronghold? No. Did you activate your pride? Bill did.
Bill did.
I
Bill
did.
did.
Did you suffer from your
Twice.
dark secret? Aimee gets an XP for this one. Because those Rust brothers are all up in your business.
I got in a fight with Ayan.
Oh,
No
damn, I
countsies.
could have used my pride. Fuck. I could have used it.
Did you risk your life for another player character? Sorry, what, Joe?
There is a part of me that wants to argue that I might have suffered from my dark secret, but it's you and I will have to talk about it after.
We'll talk about it after. As of now, my answer on that is no, but you can make a case after.
You know I will.
All right, I know you will. Did you risk your life for another player character? I don't think anybody. We weren't in any like fight situations this session. I'm gonna go with no on this one.
We
And
made mean faces at a Rust brother.
you did. And extraordinary action. Did anyone perform an extraordinary action of some kind? I give 5 seconds, and if nobody can think of anything, it no counts. 5.
Vergello
got
made her
the-
snap. Vergello made
Yeah.
her snap.
Elevator snap.
Yeah.
I incited a riot,
She-
basically, and
she and-
kicked the lady out.
1 for Vergello.
She admitted everything. 'cause
That's fine.
of him,
That's fine.
basically.
Vergello gets the doing the coolest thing this session point for using his talent to crack the lady and make the town turn against her.
Do I get one from using one of my talents to escape the Rust brother?
No. You were already rewarded for that by having the Rust brother not know you stole the thing.
Fair.
Okay, that'll do it. Fill in your XP.
Josh.
Yes.
Oh, well, I still want to make my case after we're off stream.
That's fine. I'll let you know when we talk about it. And everyone who's watching, thank you for watching. I'm sorry that our cameras got all screwed up. At some point, I put like a color filter on the cameras. Bleh.
Cameras.
And then I took it back off, but it didn't go away. And so now OBS is all bugged out, and I look like a floating head in the dark. And Hank looks really dark because it like shared the settings between all the cameras, even though I was only trying to apply it to mine. I screwed up the stream. And when Hank disconnected, all of our faces got screwed up. So apologies for the tech stuff getting all scrambled up. I'll do some editing in post. Although there's parts where the cameras were screwed up, but everybody was still role playing, so we'll have to keep those parts. But anyway, we'll get better at the tech stuff as time goes on. Apologies for the cameras getting all screwed up. Thank you everybody who was watching for watching. This will be posted on YouTube sometime in the next week, and the next session. This is, we are playing tonight on November 16th, 2022, and our next session will be 2 weeks from today on November 30th. That is Thanksgiving week. Is everybody good with that?
No, it's not. It's the week after.
Oh, it's the week after. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Everybody good for the 30th? Okay. We will resume 2 weeks from today. Thank you all for watching. Like us, subscribe to us, find us on YouTube, find us on Twitch, and when we get enough followers, I'm going to start doing solo streams talking about DMing stuff, so if you want to see that stuff, follow, because I ain't doing none of it till we have 50 Twitch followers.
1,000 followers, Josh kills a character.
Deal.
Can it not?
Deal. Bill said it, but I said yes to it. It's happening.
And it's probably gonna be Aimee.
Whoever our 1,000th
Can we take a group vote?
whoever our 1,000th follower
I
is,
vote you.
they get to choose what character
I
dies.
get to choose which character dies and how.
Oh, I love it. I
didn't know
love
if
it.
Amy's up here, but I'm pointing at her.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Have a lovely night, and we will resume 2 weeks from today.